You know, I'm gonna be honest, I just don't think this is what I wanted Sayaka to be. It doesn't match her personality, she's too old. Why is she on the Sotoran mainland? I need a younger engine that probably arrived during the early days, but not too early, right? So, I mean... Well then, this'll do. Hello everybody, That One Train Guy here, back again with another video. And today we're actually going to be doing something kind of different. We are going to be looking at the actual lore of a character in a non-lore video. This is specifically a spotlight on this character. I think I'm going to start doing this a bit more often, just so I can talk about some of the customs and OCs I make, instead of compiling them all into one major video. Which also gives me time to talk about their models. Of course, these videos are inspired by Fireporter's videos. Shout out to him, I'll leave his channel link in the description, go subscribe if you are not already. But with that all out of the way, let's jump into the lore. The year is 1918, and the Northwestern is immediately struggling due to a locomotive crisis. They don't have enough of them. I mean, they do have locomotives, they just aren't powerful enough. I mean, they've got a couple of old underpowered 040s, a Caledonian Mogul, an ROD 280 they just bought, a Sterling Single, an old 440 that has bad steaming, a couple of LBSCR 060s, one of them is getting on in age, and a Manning Wardle tank, the only one that's still left that wasn't sold into industrial use. So, to say they're kind of out of options would be saying a lot. We don't talk about the 044 that exists on the railway too. She refuses to work. So, Sir Bertram Topham Hatt had to go to some railways and basically hit them up for some locomotives that he could loan for a couple years. And thankfully, quite a few of them did have some locomotives he could loan. The Caledonian Railway rented them 5 812s. Please note, none of these are Donald and Douglas. The Midland Railway rented them 6 4Fs. The LSWR rented them an N15. The Great Eastern Railway rented them a S69. And finally, the Great Northern Railway rented them a IVIT C2 Atlantic. Sayaka's arrival to the Northwestern completely changed how they were able to do the express, because originally, with Edward, they could only do a round trip once a day. It was just not worth the money for him to do it more than once. But now with Sayaka, all of a sudden the money issues and running her wasn't an issue. So now they could do longer expresses, do them more often, at a way more affordable price. With Sayaka's arrival to the railway, it started flourishing in the passenger scene. So, of course, now seeing this Great Atlantic, Sir Topham Hatt realized Sayaka was also starting to age a little. She was pretty new, yes, but still kind of old, and a bit weaker. He knew he could do better, so he went on the search for a more modern and powerful Atlantic. That's when he found a deal for a prototype 02 and a C1 Atlantic from the LNER. He bought them up on the cheap, and he got scammed. He got the prototype 02 he was looking for, 461, aka 875461. His C1 Atlantic, however, turned out to be a 460 with a ginormous steaming issue. To say he was angry would be an understatement. So he threatened to sue the Great Northern, and they immediately gave up and settled it out of court, giving him Sayaka and a promise to gift him a Pacific once they were built. And of course, once that big express locomotive arrived, Sayaka was put onto smaller trains like the Limited, and smaller expresses, and local trains. And you can still find her doing those jobs on Sodor to this day. I think she loves her home. Don't you? Sayaka's design was a bit of a process. I knew I no longer wanted her to be a Nielsen due to how limiting it was for her character and where I could use her in stories. So I decided on a few different locomotive classes, an LBSER 440, an LSWR T3, and a GNR C2. I eliminated the LBSER 440, leaving me with the T3 and the C2. I left it up to a vote between my friends, and with 67% of the vote, the C2 had won, making it so Sayaka's new class would be an GNR C2. So I got to work. I used a whiff for her chassis, running board, and smoke box. A wooden dowel was used to make her boiler, and of course a Renee's cab for her cab. She also used an Emily tender for her tender. I then used a ton of milliput to completely scope her shape, and stole a 3D printed dome off a secret project, although this one was a failed version of that secret project. I then gave her the push-along wheels to give her the accurate wheel configuration, and painted her in Caledonian blue. Yes, there's lore reasons for that, but I'm hoping to explain that another day. But yeah, after that, I just gave her a clear coat and she was done. All in all, a pretty simple model. So yeah, that's about everything, although there is one thing I need to talk about. Channel memberships is now officially on the channel. It's literally just access to original versions of the video that were affected by copyright, so I couldn't upload them. So there's the original status of the videos, now just unlisted for channel members, and video previews showing you what will be coming to the channel next, along with previews for content and being able to choose what content comes to the channel next. I know, it's silly. I know everybody and their mother does this, but it's something that could help me with the channel. So if you want to help me, you can. It's there. I'm not asking anybody to do it, but if you want to, it is there. So, yeah, that's everything. I guess this is That One Train Guy. Signing out. I'll see y'all later.